let's move on to water. Okay, water. Water is going to be one of the tough ones, because water is one of those you absolutely have to have. That's one reason why I liked the gated community. Most gated communities have ponds and some kind of pretty water kind of stuff. So, like I say, any place that you go in the way of a sheltered area, the first thing you look for is water. That's the first thing. If it's a housing type place, especially multi-story, go to the bathtub and plug the bathtub, open the valves, and see if you can get some water in there. There might be some running water. They may have water stored up on top that's going to drain, right? You know, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the area you're going to be in. Down here, a lot of places have water tanks up on the roof. So, but I say you plug the bathtub and fill it up, because that water. The reason you're doing that now is, in time, that water is going to get worse and worse and worse. You're catching that water at the best it's going to be, and at least you have the water. You should already have water purification. I mean, I carry it in my backpack. I got it in my car. I got water purification everywhere. So I just need access to water, and then I can get my own water. But I have to have the water to work with. That's why you're filling your bathtub. And then, of course, you have the toilets. The tank, the storage tank on the toilet, that right there's got water. So you've got places for water, that you can get water. And you need to take that water, and let's say you got a whole floor. What you do of a multi-story place, you take that one bathtub and you plug it, and you start bringing all your water from all the other rooms and put it in that one bathtub. So you have all that water in one place where you can take care of it. You need to, if you're on a multi-story, how about setting your roof up automatically by finding the drains on the roof, and be able to redirect the drains into bathtubs or other, I don't know the place you're at, if they have other kind of tanks, anything you can store water in, because it could rain any time. Now if we're talking California, I don't know, but the rest of the places, we just don't know. It can rain any time. So you need to get your drainage set up so that water is not going to drain, other than to drain into something you can store it in. So that's one way of looking at it. If you're going to, on water, you always, like I say, fill up all your containers, any containers that you have. That's one of the things I talk about is gallon Ziploc bags. I say it's something you can put in your backpack. You can put it in bags. You know, bags, just like a duffel bag. You can put gallon bags of water in a duffel bag, and if it's got wheels on it, you can wheel this duffel bag around. Or you can put it in a wagon. You can do whatever. But you need to find out where your water sources are and start storing your water, getting your water. At first, it's going to be a tough one, because people at first, everybody's going to be wanting that water. If I remember talking about the gated community, and they got the pond, at first everybody's going to be wanting to get it all out, and you're going to be letting them. And then as you see the water starts dropping in your pond, then you're going to restrict the water coming out of your pond. You're going to have some kind of rules. You'll make up some kind of rules on how you're going to divvy out the water, and because it's going to be one of the important things. That's why you go in and you start filling up your containers first thing, because after that, when they start restraining or restricting the water, you'll already have a jump start on it for everybody. And like I say, so that if they're smart, when you first take over this gated community or any place where there's a water thing like that, the first thing you're going to do is restrict the water. That's the first thing you're going to do, because you're going to keep people from hoarding it or doing just what I just said, filling up all your containers and get out. No, we're going to stop it now, because we don't know how long this shit hit the fan situation is going to be, and we don't know not only how long, but we don't know how tough it's going to be. There's a lot of things we don't know, and the one thing we need for life is water. So you need to restrict the water and get control of the water. So we're right back to having a team. Your 3-man militias, a whole bunch of 3-man militias. And one of those militias was going to be protecting the water source and helping come up with a system to make sure you always have water. So water is going to be a big problem, and the smarter people are going to know that right from the very start. The dumber ones, as they get thirsty, that's when they're going to realize how they're screwed. So always look for a source of water. And it doesn't even have to be good, clean water, but you do have to have a source of water. Okay, water. Or shelter. We've talked about shelter. And then water. Now, food. Okay. In the city, in the way of food, that's going to be a very difficult one if you're moving, because it's not going to be like the movies where you see them pushing the grocery cart down the street. Your grocery cart will be confiscated if you're smart and you're in the city. So now, like I say, you're going to be going through areas, and some of these areas may let you get through pushing your grocery cart full of food. I doubt it, but there are some stupid people that will let you go through. Okay, so traveling with food in the city is going to be very limited. So I would suggest in the city, if you're living in the city, in your grab bag, your get out of town type bag thing, I would suggest you have some rat traps, some light wire and string for snares for rats and cats, and maybe even for birds, pigeons. I don't know. You're in the city. What kind of critters are there to eat in your city? That's the types of traps that you probably best get now. And like I say, it's easier to travel around with some traps and some wire and some string than trying to carry food around with you. The food makes you a target. When you're traveling, or even when you are settled in. Let's say you're going to dig in and stay in the city until this thing gets over. You're going to want to have your rat traps and snares put up. So, and it's the same thing when you're traveling. You want to get your traps and snares put up as fast as you can, and while you're getting things ready to settle in for the night. So and I don't even know, I'm trying to think, if I was traveling in the city, if I'm in the country, would I travel before dark? I stop before dark. Well, we always have somebody ahead of us, traveling ahead of us, and it'd really be the same thing in the city. Now they probably won't get any more than a half a block ahead of you if you're in the city. Even out in the country, they always stay in your eyesight, always out in the country. But we can see all around us. But so being in the city, you got so many blind spots. Your scouting team won't be able to get that far ahead of you. And even that, your scouting team, the people that are going ahead of you, let's say you have a 3-man scouting team that's going ahead of you. Out of that 3-man scouting team, one of them might be ahead of the other 2. Now, depending on how many 3-man militias you have and how many total people you have, you might have 2 or 3 scouting teams ahead of you, and those teams will send a team out in front. It just, because we're watching for everybody's safety. And but I say, once they find the place, they need to hurry up and get snares and traps and stuff like that ready. And we'd be doing the same thing if we were out in the country. Right before dark, we want to get all this trap set up, because that's normally critters start coming out after dark. So you have to have everything in place already. And so I would say it's probably going to be close to the same if you're in the city. Now, okay. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's more things in the way of food. I say, grocery store, be ready when you are traveling like that. Be ready to trade your food off first. Food normally takes up weight and takes up space. So if there's going to be some trading going on, use the food. Especially, they're going to take your food anyway. If these people aren't going to take it, the next ones will. Somebody's going to take your food. So if they're going to take it, work out a deal with it. Like, hey, we'll give you some food. We can sleep. Let us sleep over here and give us some water, and we can give you some food. Because you're working out a deal with them, and if you wait and you don't work out this deal, that's what I was talking about. I bribe ahead of time. That's why. If you wait, what they're going to do is they're going to decide they're going to take your food, and you're not going to get nothing for it. So why not just go on and trade it out now for some shelter and some water, and we'll give you some food. And then so they're going to be happy. They're going to get their food, and they're less likely to want to go on and take all of your food. So that's where the negotiating for your life kind of tactics come in. But I say you don't want to carry all that stuff. So that's a good way of doing it. And I say, of course, when you're moving and you're able to find food, you pick it up. Anything that's, like I say, the canned stuff's going to be heavy, but you still need to gather this stuff up, and because it gives you something to trade on down the road. I say I doubt if you're going to be trading water, because water's heavy, but you're going to consume it. That is for sure. You'll be consuming it. You sure don't want to trade your water purification. Water purification that's going to be one of the... Okay, ran out of video space. So, but we're talking about trading off your water purifying equipment. It's very, very important. I don't even know how I would place this on the list of important things, because after shit hits the fan, you won't be able to, if people offer you water and all this stuff, it's the same thing. You won't be able to trust the water, because just because they've been drinking it doesn't mean you're going to be drinking it. And like I say, once they find out you have water purification, it's going to give you problems too. So I'm really not quite sure how you're going to handle that. For sure, you need like those sport bottles, and they got the filter inside. For sure, you need at least that. What you do is you put the water in there and you squeeze it. Filtered water is hard. You know, they got these straw things you put in there. It's hard to suck. If you're going to purify, if you're going to filter all that stuff. Now, there's a difference between filter and purify too. You really want purified is the best. Filtered, you can run it through your water through a gas filter. You seen these little gas filter things going in the car on the gas line? You get a new one of those things, and you can filter your water through that. I do that. I've got a hand pump water purifier, and before I run the water through my purifier, it goes through this gas filter, and what it does, it takes all the big stuff out, because it's just like paper or whatever they put in those filters just to do it. But it takes the big stuff out, and then my filter itself will go on and purify the water. And because, like I say, I want purified water. You don't want to get sick. There's so many waterborne bad things. I don't even know how to even start on that. You don't want it. You don't want any of it. You sure the hell you don't want it around you, because like I say, mosquitoes are going to come from it. All kinds of weird things are going to come from it. And you sure don't want to put it inside your body. So water purification is very, very important. So don't even think about trading it off. So especially when you're in the city, because no water in the city. There's ways to filter water out in the country. You can, like if there's a water puddle, you can dig a hole next to the water puddle, and the sand and dirt and stuff from where the water is will slowly seep over and purify the water there. Well, at least filter it. I don't know about purify. It depends on what kind of bad stuff is in the water. But that's and the same thing in creeks and stuff like that. Now, like I say, city, I don't even know how you're going to do it in the city. That's why water purification is so important. The good thing nowadays, these are small. These units are very small, lightweight. And we're right back to, I like the ones with the crank, or the pump on there. So what you do is you got your Ziploc bags. You can fill up your Ziploc bags, and then, like I say, then go from there. You don't need to worry about it. This is going to be the hard one, and that is security.